Hello, hello, creative friends. And this is video 2 of Sketch the Clouds. If you haven't seen video 1, I would recommend go back and watch video 1 and do these in succession. For today, Sketch the Clouds, or for this month, we're going to start with a simple sketch where you start to think about light and shadow. So I've given you a few little balls here to start thinking about light, where the light is coming in and where the shadow is on your cloud. And I also talked about it in the previous video where your clouds are basically a bunch of shapes. And in this case, circles or ovals. So I wanted to break this down for you into just little chunks to where it's really helpful if you do this. If you have the sheet, great. If not, this is just a simple circle, sketch it out on a piece of paper. You will learn more by doing than by watching. So there's a saying, color gets all the credit, but value does all the work. Let's imagine our light is coming in, and when I'm sketching, I like to think about where is the light source. And if we're looking at the sky, there's usually a light source. In this case, we're going to make it simple and we're going to make it come from this left side angle. But when you're dealing with clouds, sometimes the light comes over here, sometimes it's here, sometimes it's here, sometimes it's here. We're going to think about our lights, our middle values, and our dark values. So let's start with just getting in some dark values. And this is just sketching or cross hatching to get the essence of dark in. And cross hatching is a great way of showing that there's dark without having to scribble the entire thing in. And the bigger something is that you're sketching, the more this takes a bit of work. You're going to find your own way, but I like to crosshatch because I like to do my sketches really quickly and spend more time on paintings. So here are some balls, and it's a great opportunity for you to start sketching in the dark. See how quickly I can fill that in? For our beginners, let's make sure we have a light area and a dark area. And right here, we have more of a dominant white than we do of a dark. And just depending what's going on in the sky, you will either have mostly dark clouds with a little bit of white, or you will have a lot of light with just a little bit of dark or shadow on your clouds. So let's transfer this over to our clouds. And on this one, I just traced over. I'm bringing over my light source. And what I want to think about is in all these shapes here, I'm bringing in some shadow or some dark by filling in the bottoms of this cloud. Sorry, sometimes it's hard to draw and talk at the same time. Okay, so that was just really simple. We can do that over here. And what I'm going for here on this particular one is mostly light and just a little bit of shadow. I think this is the easiest way to get you to start thinking about the clouds outside of just a cartoon shape. The light and the shadow start to add a lot of depth. Let's say we've got light, mid-tone, dark. Our light can be the white of the paper in this way. Our mid-tone, I started off a little dark. might be that. And then our darks will be that, something like that. So you can also think about that here, and you can go back and you can outline a little bit for those darks. And then this here can be your midtone. And again, we'll go more into that next time. But for now, again, do it, watch it, but then do it. If you don't actually do it, it's not going to stay as permanent in your brain as doing it. Now, I started off with cross hatching, right? And you can cross hatch in any directions. But what you also see me doing is a little bit of scribbling. And I definitely scribble a bit more than crosshatch, but crosshatch might make more sense for you. Either one, you can crosshatch or scribble. You can also do both the way that I've done it. And here I can lighten up on my pencil. So most pencils, you press down really hard, you can get a dark. You don't press down so hard, you can get a mid-tone. If you have a really light touch with some pencils, sometimes you can get it lighter, and then you just leave it alone for your lightest lights. Let's do that a little bit more here. I'm going to do a little bit of a hybrid of cross-hatching and a little scribble. There's no real wrong way to do this. Just get in there and do a little bit. And can you see how you start to form a bit more depth than if you just have the lines? And again, start with some circles or some ovals. I put some circles on for here for you, but you can go ahead, make a whole bunch of shapes, small, large, weird. You can use the crosshatch. You can use the scribble. And if you want to, go ahead and get really dark on this bottom edge for the dark shadow. And you'll start to see that a lot of the shapes have this circular or box to them. Let's show the box real quick. Why not? So if we've got light coming in here, this will be our lightest light. Down here, this will be our darkest dark. And then this will be our midtone. And again, I'm just going, same pencil, just going darker, pressing harder, and pressing softer for that midtone. And this starts to create depth. So whether you want to do boxes or rectangles or circles, start to give this a try, as well as vary the pressure on your pencil. What if all you have is a pen? You can do the same, and the closer together your hatch marks, the darker it's going to look. The further away your hatch marks or your scribbles, the lighter it will look. So let's say all you have is a pen. Now you have no excuse not to do this. And so you've got that cross hatch in, and then you can go in and really fill it in for your darks. Give it a try. Let me know how it goes, and I'll see you in our next cloud sketching video. Bye-bye.